Your shear lash is used to join two poles together in order to lengthen them. Shear lashes are never used by themselves, but more along the lines of two. Shear lashes are used to join two poles to make them longer. No matter how tight you tie a shear lash, you can never use only one of them to successfully join two poles together without having it bend in any way. Now your shear lash. Start with a clove hitch on the base wood. Let's just assume that these two poles are going to be raised up, and this is the pole that will be on the ground. Clove hitch. Thumb knot. Now, after you have done this, ensure that your end of the clove hitch and the thumb knot is located at the center. So much so that when your second piece of wood is placed on top, your thumb knot falls nicely in the middle of the two pieces of wood. This is so that when you start your rounds and you pull, exert force, this is the bottom of the two poles, your thumb knot gets trapped nicely in between the two poles. For your shear lash, we mainly do the 8x3. What's the 8x3? It means 8 rounds with 3 fraps. If we need it to be more secure, we go 12x4. Now, what's 8x3? 8x3, that means 8 rounds. My first round, second round, so on and so forth. Take note that as I am pulling my rounds, I'm making sure that the rounds are as close together as possible, and every time I pull one round, I thumb it at the end. A common mistake that you may make is that as you are focusing on the top of your shear lash, you forget about the bottom, and the rounds at the bottom are not compact. So many a times I see that there are gaps at the bottom of the shear lash, but the top is packed neatly. This is not ideal. Okay, I have 8 rounds over here. Now, after the 8 rounds are done, do half a round, and we can begin our fraps. Although I was untying the rope, you can see that I was still thumbing the rope by using my knee. Okay, after you have 8.5 rounds, you want to slot the end of the rope in between the two pieces of wood. Many books write that this 3 fraps goes around the entire 8 rounds, or how many rounds you may put. But we find this to be more tight and more effective. Go through, tight. Thumb your knot, pull it through again. Tight. when it's done, you will see 3 complete rounds made by the rope. 360-degree rounds. And this 4th round is actually half a round. So from the top, you'll see 4 and 8. After this, you want to do your half hitch. This is done by pulling the rope away from your 3 rounds and doing a half hitch. However, this is the tricky part. Once you have pulled the half hitch, you want to lock your fraps in place. Pull tight, bring the rope back. Once you have pulled tight and brought the rope back, you will notice that these 4 rounds are neatly parallel to one another. Once this is done, thumb lock area and end off with your crowfish. There you have it, shear lash. How to check if your shear lash is tight? Push down on the 8 rounds here in the center. If they are immobile, it means it's tight. You can also push down at the 8 rounds on the bottom of your shear lash. If you can't push it down, that means they are tight. Common mistakes include your initial crowfish and the thumb knot are not located at the center of the 2 poles, either at the side or the top, whatever. This makes the knot loose. Another mistake is that your rounds are not tight and not compact to one another. This results in a butterfly, which I'll show you in just a bit. Another mistake commonly made is that your half hitch is in the wrong direction. Wrong direction means that for your half hitch, you cross it over your 3 rounds before making your half hitch. And you pull it back. How to tell it's wrong is that this rope makes some sort of 90-degree angle to everything else. This rope, this 4th round, is supposed to move away from these 3 rounds, not towards. This results in this lock not being in place. For example, if it's done this way, this lock area can still move around. Even though it's locked tight, it may shift and move onto your 3 rounds, or it may shift and make your knot loose. A butterfly effect is produced when your 8 rounds are not pulled tightly. And as you do your 3 fraps, and even though if you pull your 3 fraps tightly, this occurs. The center portion is clumped up too much to the point of being ineffective. A normal shear lash, your center portion will clump up a bit, but all your ropes will be nice and pulled together, parallel to one another. However, if you do not pull your 8 rounds tight, this occurs, whereby after pulling your 3 fraps, the ropes crisscross one another, overlap. And overlapping, as you know, is a sign of weakness. And why we name it a butterfly effect is that if you look from this direction, it looks like a nice little butterfly.